Today we're going to talk about the dynamics of parenting in the 21st century. And it is often said that you can have control and no growth, or growth and no control. This is a paradigm shift for most of us as parents because we tend to parent from the subconscious. In other words, the memories of how we were raised seem to override any new ideas to ensure that we are not breaking the spirit of our children. And in addition to that, for the other aspect of the totem pole, if you will, we also need to make sure that we are parenting and not being a parrot with the name parent and no power. This is the Coach's Corner. Welcome aboard. 5 minutes a day. We try to make it okay. This is the Coach. And so when you look at your responsibilities as a parent in the 21st century, you are faced with multiple or conglomerate of distractions. And sometimes you wonder, how in the world are you going to be successful? And, you know, a lot of people have what works in one house doesn't work in another house, and what works for one family doesn't work in another family. But of a surety, you must understand that there are many dynamics in parenting. For an example, if you're going to parent, you're going to have to be there. There is no such thing as parenting and you're absent from the scene. You have to be present somehow. You can find some creative ways to do that, but you have to be there in spirit, and you have to be there audibly. You have to be there psychologically and psychosocially and emotionally. You have to be there. You have to be involved somehow. Now, everybody's got a set of dynamics that is absolutely unbelievable, but parenting does not wait for us to catch up. There are so many dynamics that, oh my goodness, that could be a show in and of itself, the dynamics of parenting. And I may be speaking on that soon, because a lot of us are trying to raise our girls to become women and boys to become men. And let me tell you, there's three things that you can't do. You can't parent without remembering your own baggage, that you're going to bring something to the table that's not going to work. Something from your past that's not going to work. Second of all, emotionally speaking, you have to relinquish control. Take control where you need to, but you still have, it's a balancing act of taking control and relinquishing control. Parents who parent emotionally they're up to here with frustration. Always yelling, always screaming, always having a tantrum because you want to be in control. But if you've done the training, if you've lived the example, which is a whole nother dynamic that is missing in parenting today, then you may have a chance. But let me talk about the parent who's not an example. The parent who's not an example really doesn't have an excuse, because kids mimic more what they see and what they hear than what we say, and so you can't say, you know, do as I say and not as I do. So if you're not being an example to your kids, you are absolutely putting yourself at risk in your parenting journey. But second of all is this: parenting requires introspection. Parenting requires an open ear. Parenting requires maturity of the individual that's parenting. And too many times we're caught up in the thicket of trying to make money and trying to pay our bills and trying to keep up, and then not even, if you throw in your own personal problems with drinking or drugs or lack of skills or lack of education or lack of earning potential, if you throw all those things in there, you know, lack of coping skills, lack of getting along with others, and on and on and on, you just compound the problem. because children become what we are, not what we say, but what we are. And so the authentic self that you become is the authentic self that children emulate. And it is very difficult for the best of us, let alone for the worst of us who parent, or those who parent in name only but never show up. And so I want to encourage you today, look at your dynamic and try to assess it and try to see where you can improve. But this, I must tell you, that there is no way you're going to have absolute control. But then again, on the other spectrum, there is no way that you cannot at some point take control. If you can, if your kids are young, you want to get in there early, bond early, and be principle based. Whatever you do, you want to be principle based. You don't want to parent based on your feelings. You don't want to parent based on the mood of the day. You want to try to be principle based. And there's a whole lot more I could say about it, but my time is up. This is the Coach's Corner. Don't forget now to follow me on Spreaker. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Select USA TV, and subscribe to us. We have some great shows on YouTube. The Morning Bread Show, SIB in Atlanta. We got a new show called SIB in Sports. Hey, the coach is doing something spectacular. I need to hear from you. Get involved. SIB in television and radio, bringing you the Coach's Corner, and I'll see you next time.